here's your host, Alex Garrett.
Well, here we are. It is the final day of 2021. I don't know. It's my first reaction to the whole year is it was personally a year of two different years. Last year felt like 12 different years in 2020. This year actually felt a little more normal. We'll get to that in a bit. But I just, to end the year, I want to cover some actual news. I don't understand how the CDC going into this new year is saying, yeah, the unvaccinated could be out of quarantine in 5 days, just like the vaccinated. It's almost like saying we don't really care anymore if you're unvaccinated. It's almost like saying entering 2022, we're just going to screw up the messaging entirely and you guys figure it out. Even President Biden this week said it's a state issue now. It's not a federal issue. So, Eric Adams, you're a big part of tonight's story because this is also the last day of Mayor Bill de Blasio. What will you do, Mayor-elect Adams / Mayor Adams? Are you going to, if the once local authorities decide, are you going to keep us so hemmed in that we can't do much or feel like we're not as alive as we could be? Or will you start to ease the restrictions for us once and for all? And then, so that's my little rant on the CDC. I want to get back to this podcast. So, 2021, podcasting-wise, felt like a very big year. We created adapting with the adapting edition of this podcast. And I'm wanting to get more stories. And that's where you come in. To start 2022, I want to just lay this on the line. We will not stop talking adaptability because just when the calendar turns to a new year, adaptability doesn't stay back a year. They keep going with us. That skill of adaptability carries over into the next year. Your healthcare may not, your vacation days may not, but adaptability will always carry over into the next year. It's a skill that is a lifelong skill, year in and year out. So I want to know from you your stories of adaptation even in 2021, obviously, moving forward, to bring us some inspiration into the new year. We're all looking for inspiration to end this year, are we not? We're looking for even messaging on COVID-19, are we not? We are looking for leadership to actually lead, are we not? We're not seeing it right now in 2021. And personally, when the calendar flips, I'm not sure. It's a nice symbolism of something new. It's always fun to count down with the New Year's Eve kiss and whatnot. But what will change in 2022? It's up to us to make that change. In our own lives, firstly. Ballot box November 22. The midterms are huge this year, are they not? The midterms are ginormous this year, are they not? So, that's where in 2022 we can make even more adaptability. And I think if you have an adaptation story, I would love to hear it at, this is my number, by the way, 206, brought to you by Text Me, the app Text Me, 206-426-9884. I also read emails, alex@alexgnyc.com, of any kind, by the way. I don't care what you do. But just know, we're ending the year feeling like in shambles because a lot of us feel in shambles. A lot of us maybe didn't have the best of years again. But for those that became vaccinated, that ended up being okay. Minus the variants, being vaccinated seemed to have quelled the storm here, I feel. Personally, my year was, as I mentioned, a tale of 2 years. One half of it was transitioning into a new pathway in radio. And of course, that stayed consistent. But the other part of it was that we had a lot of fun in the second half of 2021, whether it was the trip to LA with Axe or it was, I don't know, just being on Kenny Dig Sports for a little bit. Those kind of things. It just felt like a completely different second half of the year. And that's not a bad thing. I think we are all looking for those kind of pick-me-ups too. Like, how can we change even half a year around, let alone a year? I'm going to end with a quote from one of my favorite people in the world because it so hits the nail on the head. But I want to preface it with this question, and maybe you can email me, alex@alexg.nyc.com. In 2021, what was your best day? What was your best day in 2021? Email me or, as I said, buzz my phone at 206-426-9884. It's a separate line for the podcast, so you can definitely try me there. As I was saying, though, the traveling was great. Oh, and so, yeah, tell me your best day. Tell me your best day. I feel like I had a few best days in 2021. I feel like, personally, it was a year that I just said, I'm not going to take this crap from anybody, and I'm just going to move along and do what I need to do. And that felt like a good theme the rest of the year. The other theme was that I don't know. I just felt like I was back out in the world. And I hope you did too. And I hope you're back in the world if you aren't already in 2022. I hope my streets of New York, the streets of New York City, my hometown city, are full again. And that we can stop being scared of every little thing. And start living again. That's my hope on Alex Garrett Podcasting to start 2022. A happy and a healthy yes. A happy, healthy, and a non-fearful 2022. That would be even better. I want to take up a bunch of your time today because I've got other things to do for New Year's Eve. But for now, I'm Alex Garrett. Happy New Year. And we'll see you in 2022. And my quote I was going to leave you with is by Pastor Dave Watson. He said this. He said, may your worst day of 2022 be better than your best day of 2021. Oh, and some terrible news. Betty White has died before the end of the year. What the freak? So, there's that. She almost made it to 100, too. But now the world will mourn Betty White as we hit the calendar year of 2022. Have a great day, everybody. And Happy New Year.